Pecos and I recently went through quite an interesting experience. For several years, we've been walking with this big dog, Beau. Actually, Pecos didn't go the first year because Beau was a very new rescue, a puppy, and he had no training. So over the course of probably like 8 or 9 months, I trained him
Okay, ready, Beau?
until I felt like he was pretty much good to go with anybody. So I fired myself and
Good boy.
moved on. But I always thought about him and his beautiful owner, Anne, who had rescued him. And she's 90 this year, and she has a little motorized wheelchair. On my recommendation, he went to camp after that, and then one day her pond cleaners came over and left the gate open, and he burst out the gate and into the street, which is right there. Didn't have much of a yard. She lives in like a small kind of townhouse type of situation with a little courtyard, and so he was excited to go see the people in the street right there. And there's a particular woman that I had a run-in with when I was walking him in the neighborhood who just kind of had it out for him and had called animal control on him, and she was always harassing his walkers and going to the board of directors to try and of the community of the neighborhood association trying to get him expelled, calling animal control in the village where they live, and he was going to be picked up by animal control if they got another complaint, regardless of whether it was valid or not. And he's really good, really smart, really sweet, really fun. And Anne called me and said, "Can you come back on weekends?" And I said, "Yeah, I really missed you guys. I would love to come back on weekends. I need to set my own schedule." She said, "Fine." I said, "I don't want to walk him in the neighborhood anymore because we both get bored and it seems kind of like a hostile environment." She said, "No problem." And I said, "I think I'd like to bring my little dog over to meet him." And she said, "That would be great." He and Pecos met, and the corgi that he lived with, Winnie, all got along great. And I took Beau and Pecos walking together henceforth for probably the past 4 months, every Saturday and Sunday. And I took him to the Bosque, where you'll see I love to go if you watch like my Weekends with Pecos videos and stuff.
This is our last walk together, huh? You're gonna get a new family, huh? Yeah. It's gonna be so fun for you. Oh, what? Do you hear the owls? There's Mr. and Mrs. Duck. Aren't you cute? Make way for ducklings.
All kinds of different parks where I had never been, and like these big athletic fields that haven't been in use, obviously. She got me a long line so I could like run him on a long line and kind of practice having him feel more freedom and like being off leash. Meanwhile, you know, I'm totally in love with this dog. He's just so fun and so great and such a character and so smart, and he's so, I don't know, rewarding to work with because he's so smart and he just learns all of your training, all of your vocabulary and everything so readily. But the time was getting to be very tense as far as her finding a new home for him. She really wanted to rehome him and have him be well taken care of and not a worry for her anymore, like at her advanced age and everything else, and just knowing that this neighborhood that she lived in was getting more and more risky for him to stay in. So she tried this family and they brought him back, and I went and vetted another woman that was interested, but it was not right at all. And I kind of like cried all the way home. I was like, "We can't send Beau there." And I went and talked to her and she's like, "Okay, we're not going to send Beau there." And I was like, oh. And all the while in the back of my mind, I'm like, what if I could take him? Like, I would love to take him. But I have Pecos, I have 2 cats. He had never met cats before. And my husband is not into a big dog. And he didn't speak to me for 2 weeks after I adopted Pecos. So that was kind of really touch and go. But he got called up to a project up north, so he was going to be out of town for Sunday through today. He's coming home right now. So Sunday, I was talking to one of Anne's caretakers, and we were talking about this woman in the neighborhood who had it out for Beau, And Anne wheeled up and she said, it's not funny. She said, I've got 2 strikes with animal control because of this woman. And if they come again, they're going to take him and put him on death row. And I was like, I had no idea that was going on. I knew that this woman had been starting things, but I had never heard this animal control piece until Sunday. And I got really freaked out because the Corrales Animal Control is a kill shelter. They have like these weird small village politics and policies, and it was getting to be really dangerous for him just because he's full of energy and he's a puppy, and this woman has turned like everybody against him in this tiny neighborhood. It's sort of like living in an island. And I said, that's it. I'm gonna take him on Sunday. I'm taking him, and that's it. And she was like so relieved. And I said, we're going to cross the border. We're going to go up the hill, get him out of this village, and we'll just go from there. So I took him over to my parents' house, and he played fetch with my dad for like hours. He was so happy. He was really good. My mom got all freaked out because he crawled all the way into her honeysuckle bush and scratched himself up. And she was worried about her rabbits that live in there. But come the following day, so that night was like really rough because he had never met cats before, and he did like chase one of my cats, and it got into like a kerfuffle. Like it was really fast. I couldn't tell what was going on, and it was really scary looking and sounding, but nothing happened. He is such a good dog. He just was scared of the cats, and she was untouched. She came out like shortly thereafter, and she's so shy and sketchy that I knew that she was okay because she just showed right back up. He was so good here. Like, we have so many rules. We have the garden outside. He can't go in the garden. We have this one particular corner where they're allowed to do their business, and in 24 hours he was trained to go in the corner and do his business there, only there, after I had just talked to him about it for 24 hours. But it was a sleepless night on Sunday. I thought to myself, oh my God, my cats are traumatized. They're not coming in to snuggle. Pecos looks depressed. Like, when Tom gets back on Wednesday, it's going to be a shit show. Like, I'm not going to get away with this, and I can't do it. And I can't take him back to Anne. And she called the next day and she was like, how's it going? And I was like, it's like, I don't know how it's going. I don't know. I love this dog so much, and he's wonderful. And that night, and actually for the past 2 weeks, I've been thinking about my friend Sarah, and I was like, Sarah doesn't want a dog. She told me she doesn't want a dog. She told me for the past 2 years, I don't want a dog. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to get another dog. She had a beautiful dog that she loved, and he passed, and she was like, I'm not ready. And I was like, I can't even like bother her about it. Like, it's, I didn't want to put it on her. And but that sleepless night on Sunday after the cat scuffle, and just knowing that I had bitten off a little more than I could chew probably, and that I had like adopted somebody else's problem, and like I was like, you always do this, Carrie. Took it too big of a bite, and you're adopting other people's problems. You're always trying to fix everything. Like, look what you've done. And I really like beat myself up, and I was like, I need to drop this hot potato. Like, what can I do? But at the same time, like, there he is, and he's like this beautiful being, and I love him. So I kept thinking though, like, about my friend Sarah, and like, so Monday after I got off the phone with Anne, and she was like, oh, I'm so desperate. Like, we're going to have to take him to this no-kill shelter rescue place out of state just to get him somewhere safe. And I was like, he can't go into a shelter. Like, he's already been through so much in his life, and he can't go into a shelter. Like, I just can't stand it. And I was sitting there, and I was like, oh man, Sarah's kind of hard to get a hold of. She's been really busy. Like, she doesn't want a dog. Like, probably shouldn't bother her. Like, just leave it. And then I was like, just try it. It was that fine of like a little gray line of like, just try it. And she immediately like got back to me, and she said, you have no idea. The past 2 weeks, I've been thinking so strongly about getting a dog. And to like all the coincidences that rolled out from it. I mean, there were so many tiny coincidences. You know, he lived with a corgi, her mom has corgis. I've been talking to Anne about the book The Overstory. I've talked about it on here too, and in the movie that I made. And she's reading The Overstory and was telling me about it, and I was like, what is it called? And she's all, The Overstory. And I was like, I knew it. Anne has a koi pond, my mom has a koi pond where he's played, and her mom has a koi pond. So already he was like, oh yeah, everybody's got a pond, or like, you know, everybody's got a corgi, whatever. And, you know, she and I hike and camp together, and Pecos loves him, and I'm going to get to see him again. And she came over on Monday night and met him, and he like laid down on the chair behind her and snuggled in and loved her. And she was like, oh, he's a little baby dog. And I was like, yes, he's a little baby dog that looks big and scary, and like all the knuckleheads that are scared of him just see that, you know, they just see like, oh, he's a bigger black dog, like danger. But you look in his eyes and he's just a little baby dog that doesn't know anything. He's just so smart and willing to learn, and all you have to do is be kind and positive with him, and he's amazing. And so she came and picked him up yesterday, and I watched them drive away, and I was like, everything, like all day yesterday, I was like, this is just more proof that the universe is gonna go like, go ahead, you know, take a step on the path, take a chance, do the thing, try the thing. We've got your back. Like, it's all connected. It's okay. And so happy. And I also definitely had the feeling yesterday, like, of like this longing, like, you know, some part of me did want him to be my dog, but they're perfect together. And you know what? Pecos was he was so stoic for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, like with Beau here. Beau just takes up all the air in the room and everything I asked him to do, because I was keeping a close watch on him in a new area. You know, Pecos would do it too, but like I couldn't see him because he was underneath, or I was like trying to focus on Beau so that he could stay in between the lines, you know. And so it was so hard on Pecos. And my mom came over last night, and Pecos sat on her lap, and he turned his back to me. He was mad. He was really mad. And I knew, like, oh, I have my pack here, you know. And we have like balance, and like over the past 3 years, like all my three animals, my 2 cats and my dog, have become like this triangle around me when I'm sleeping, and like snuggle together on the couch, and like it's all part of like Opal becoming more confident and comfortable, and you know, Pecos getting to know Alice because she likes to clean his ears and his eyes and like his arms, and she cleans him and every night. And he used to growl at her, and now he enjoys it, you know. I'm like, because I've been telling him, like, this is love, man. She loves you. It's all good. And he's like, yeah, she loves me. And so it's like balance has been restored to the force, and it's just so beautiful. And I went down the hill and met with Anne this morning, and I showed her all the pictures of Sarah and Beau together and like where he is now. And beautiful. But yesterday, when I was kind of, you know, crying some like bittersweet tears of goodbye, it was beautiful to have him stay with me for a couple of days and like snuggle with me, and like have me be able to be with him for like 24 hours, you know, because I've always been like, oh, I'm going to come pick him up, I'm going to take him on an adventure, and then I have to take him home and go like, I'll see you later, buddy, you know, I love you. And it was so great to have that time with him. I'll always have that time with him, you know. And also to have him find like the most amazing home I could ever imagine after all of these scary like touch and go scenarios. And then, you know, to be able to tell Pecos like, you're my sidekick, like you're my boy, and him be so happy for us to be back together, um, you know, just the two of us, because he's my dog, you know. Anyways, just been so beautiful, and it's been so beautiful, and I came in here after they drove away, and Pecos and I made up this song. Ode to Beau. I don't know why I'm doing all these odes. Ode to spring, ode to time, ode to Beau, ode to my puppy, my forever puppy here. I'm just feeling sentimental. I love summer so much, and I'm in a time of like major transition in my life, and yeah, I'm putting a lot of I'm putting a lot of energy out to manifest new stuff, and the universe keeps showing me like all these really miraculous proofs that that is how it works, and that that is all going to be really, really good. Very emotional. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this. And I hope you enjoyed this story. And I don't know, let me know if you have synchronicities that are happening with you. And we'll talk again soon. Thanks for being my patron.
How can you be sad with this around, though? You can't. You just can't. He goes rolling in the grass. He goes rolling in the grass. And he goes rolling in the grass with his tail below his ass. He goes rolling in the grass. He goes rolling in the grass. He goes rolling in the grass with With his tail under his ass, he goes rolling in the grass. You! How'd you get so cute? You was born that way? Oh, bless you. Aww. Okay, well, ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Good dog, beautiful. One more. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good dog, beautiful. 1, 2, 3. Good dog, so good. Welcome to the dog walking madness inside Eloise. Today we travel. Oh, I just went Aussie. Today we travel down the longest road in. Oh man. A rural, formerly even more rural community in central New Mexico, USA. Today the dogs are very excited to go for a walk. Beau, I have one big black dog and one little white dog, and we going to the bosque, otherwise known as the riparian forest that borders the Rio Grande, which may not be grande if you live in the east, but for us, it's pretty good. It ain't no Mississippi. Okay, look how crazy they are. Just saying. Ow! Oh, that was my arm, buddy. Okay, sit down. No, sit, sit, sit. Sit down. Sit. Yes. There you go. Just sit down. Be a good boy, okay? Good. Stay right there. Think about that, pigs. You ready? You ready for the beach? What do you think about that? You think it sounds good? Yeah. Okay. It's Sunday in the life of a dog walker. These cottonwoods aren't blooming yet. Interesting. Sit down. Yes. Good. I know. Look, they put asphalt tailings on this. Sit down. Sit. Yes. I know it's tough, but I need to focus so we don't go in the drink. Look at that ditch is full. Oh, this is the sounds of my youth here. Oh my God, there's a lot of people at the bosque, so we're not gonna go there. We're gonna go here. It's called not following the crowd. Who's rolling in the grass? 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 Yeah. My little dandelion. Yeah, okay. He's a good boy. You ready?
What do you think?
He's rolling in the grass. What do you think? What do you think, Beau? Do you roll in the grass like that? Did we have a good time?